Doesn't really make any difference. We didn't start Verlander, the first game of the other playoffs, so it doesn't matter.
How pleased have you been with the way these workouts have gone here the last couple of days?
Well, this has been good. I mean, this is not exactly full speed, but a lot of intensity. But it's good. And they're seeing, pitches 90 miles an hour and stuff. And that's what we're getting accomplished what we want to do. We're going to go over bunt plays today and a couple of things, and then pretty much do what we did yesterday, a 5-inning game, and it worked out okay.
You hear guys talk about over the All-Star break, even just having 3 days off seems like a long time. When you have 6 days, does that almost seem like an eternity to a certain degree?
No, but I mean that's why we're doing what we're doing. So that's why we've taken care of that. Unfortunately, it looks like the weather's cooperated again today, so that's a good thing.
Jim, you've got some of your pitchers out here taking BP. You've got some of your pitchers out here taking batting practice, obviously getting ready for the National League. Is that something you're hoping to utilize? We've seen in a couple games so far pitchers.
Well, I don't expect them to do a whole lot offensively. I just want to be able to get a bunt down and maybe put the ball in play. And there's only a couple of them, there are 2 or 3, 4 of them that got to be involved in that because we're only going to play potentially 4 games over there, so they don't all have to do it. But yeah, I mean, you just want them to be able to get a bunt down or. See some pitches coming in. We had them button off the machine, which is a little firmer, than a coach can throw the ball. So, I mean, we're just doing what we can do to try to get ready.
And Jim, do you expect the same World Series roster as it's been?
I do.
So everybody the same?
Yeah, we don't have to have that in yet, but I do expect the same roster.
Jim, you've been working here for a while. You've heard the bad rep the city gets. How big a lift do you think it'd be for the city if you guys could actually pull off winning the series?
Well, I think it's already lifted the city up. I mean, I think it's it's brought some revenue into the city. It's going to bring some more revenue into the city. But like I said yesterday, I think what it does for the spirit of the people is probably more important. I mean, I'm sure it's not more important to the accountants, but I think it's really, I think it makes people, it's easier for them to get up and go to work. I think it's easier for them to come home, have something to do, watch a ball game, or come to the game. It's probably easier for the kids to go to school. The school's probably got some Tiger stuff around. So it's a good atmosphere it's created, I think, a positive atmosphere. And, we all need that as much as we can get it. So I think it's worked out pretty good, I think.
Any more fan apologies last night?
I'm sorry?
Any more fan apologies?
No, but I took a lot of pictures at the supermarket. And, I went and got one of them rotisserie chickens and took it home, watched the ball game, had some potato chips and a Pepsi. I had a hell of a meal last night.
Can you walk very fast today or just after the ALCS without people stopping you and saying stuff?
Well, people are nice. I mean, they're really nice. But they've been nice to me all year when I see them in person. It's just sometimes they write stuff that's not so nice, but or call in. But I can honestly tell you, I haven't met one person all year long, even during the tough times, that was ever negative with me. Nobody. They're all positive. They love the Tigers. They want to win so bad. So it's been great.
But has it got more since you guys clinched? Like,
well,
are people flocking?
Obviously, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. I had to go to the bank this morning, and I was kind of rushing. And Jesus Christ, they had 12, 15 baseballs to sign, bats to sign. This was at the bank. So I've had an adventurous last couple of days, but it's all been positive. It's all been great stuff. I mean, that's what it's about. We're, like I said the other night on the podium, we are a family here. I mean, Tiger Baseball is a family. It doesn't matter who the manager or who the players are. Tiger Baseball is a family. That's just the way it is. They love the Tigers, and we appreciate what they do, and it's a nice situation. And if you lose, you have a family argument. If you win, everybody celebrates.
Jim, you'll hear athletes, and I think managers and coaches say too, we have to tune out the fans. We can't listen to the fans. That's got to be impossible to do, really, even good or bad.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of like a blur. I mean, you'd be lying if you think, but you can look up and you see all those white towels and stuff, but you really don't see it. It's there, but you don't really see it because you're concentrating. So you don't really focus on it. It wasn't until afterwards the other night I focused on it because the game was over. All the pressure was off. But while it's going on, you're concentrating, and that's the one thing about it. I mean, this would not have been a good place the other night for a PGA golfer. They don't like it when it gets loud when you're getting ready to hit the ball. That doesn't work that way.
Well, the days off got to be the killer, especially over a long season when when things aren't going great, and you got to tune it out. But how can you?
Well, that's just the way it is. This is what we do for a living. And I think, and all people are supposed to have some form of expertise at what they do, just like you guys do. So, you learn to deal with it. and it is what it is. But it's a lot better when they're cheering and not booing. So far they've been cheering pretty good.
So Jim,
to
the
what
plan in the ALCS was to use Valverde situation by situation. Is that the same in the World
I don't know
Series?
what's going to happen. There's no sense getting into that. I can't give you that answer right now. I'm going to play it by ear.
To what
Try
ex-
to do everything we can to win a game.
To what extent has Justin Verlander kind of taken over the role of? I remember 2006. I was there. Obviously he's a leader on the field, but off it, what's his demeanor?
I think that we only got 3 guys that have had experience with us in the World Series. So, but you know what? You really can't tell anybody what it's like. I mean, if you try to tell Avisail Garcia right now what it's going to be like Wednesday, it ain't going to work. I mean, this is a big thrill, and everybody handles things different. Everybody gets ready different. Everybody has a different approach to getting ready. So, you got to experience it. So.
Were you surprised at the experience the first time you went through it? Did you know what to expect? Did anybody tell you what to expect?
Well, I was fortunate enough to go through a playoff when I was a coach with the White Sox. So that was the first year that I learned that all the distractions you can have, if you get swallowed by them, you're in trouble. And I'm talking about family, friends wanting tickets and all that, the hotels and the flights and making arrangements. You can get swallowed by that stuff if you're not careful. So I did learn that. So I was prepared. I mean, I had 16 people in my house the morning of Game 7 in 1997. My wife's got a big family, and they were all there hooting and hollering and having, what do they call them, Bloody Marys and stuff. 7 o'clock in the morning. I went to work at 8 o'clock that morning for an 8 o'clock game that night because I couldn't stand it. So you got to know how to handle it. If you don't, you're in trouble.
Jim, when a team adds a big star like Prince Fielder at the start of the season, it could be sometimes difficult to integrate him in. Has it been as smooth as you thought? And him and Cabrera, their relationship really seems to have grown.
I think it was probably tougher for Prince than it was for us because he had grown up in the Milwaukee organization. He came up with those guys in the minor leagues. They were all buddies. Then they all kind of graduated to the big leagues. So I think it was harder for Prince than it was for us. It was harder for Prince to get comfortable than it was for us certainly to accept him. So I think it was a little different, but I think now I think he's really settled in, and I mean, they love him here. It's a great place for him, a great situation. So I think he's more comfortable now.
Did you find him a little bit different cat to deal with sometimes because he's so low key?
No, I didn't. I never try to push myself on people. I just kind of let it flow. I didn't want to be hanging around him all the time, talking to him all the time because he's a star. That doesn't go good. I don't want to push myself on him. I just kind of let it flow. And I think over the season we've become closer and closer. But I usually, I like to give the players their space. I want them to be their own person, and he is, and just like all the other guys. So, we have a great relationship. I think it's grown over the year because, I didn't know Prince Fielder. I mean, I only knew him as a star on another team. I didn't know him on my team. So.
Jim, are you surprised that the NLCS has gone to 7 games, and who do you think you'll most likely face?
I need to read lips a little more because I don't hear that good.
I'm sorry. Are you surprised that the NLCS has gone 7 games, and who do you think is most likely that you'll face?
I have no idea. I learned a long time ago, don't be making any silly predictions when you're in this business. You make a fool of yourself. So I have no idea who's going to win. I will say this, I'm surprised when the Cardinals were up 3-1, I thought they would probably win it, and they still may, but it gets hairy in Game 7, believe me, because anything can happen in one game, and a bad bounce here or a bad bounce there or a walk here or something. So I have no clue who's going to win. I'm probably going to end up on a runway with not knowing where I'm going.
You said you went home and watched the game last night. Can you watch the game as a fan, or does the manager part of you kick in and you're kind of scouting and looking at matchups already?
To be honest with you, I scouted the game last night myself because I'm a little more familiar with the Cardinals than I am the Giants because they play so late out there. And sometimes after the games here, I'll stay an hour and watch a game on the West Coast for a little bit, during the season. But I don't know too much about them. But we do have 4 guys looking at them, and I know a little bit more about the Cardinals. But I kind of tried to scout the game last night, watching their hitters and their pitchers. Not strategy. I wasn't watching strategy. I was just looking at their hitters and pitchers and seeing what they're doing. And so it was interesting. It was quiet. And you could actually concentrate on it. And,
Is there much to be learned? I mean, we're talking about earlier, like football. you know, coaches and players just look at so